What's up? How are you guys doing? I forgot. I don't have to yell. I have this cool wireless mic now. So hopefully it's transmitting the voice pretty well. I can't even see the camera screen from here, but um, I hope the audio is better for you guys. Anyway, I've officially decided, man, I'm going to do it. I've got a few. I'm going to sell a motorcycle, or actually probably two motorcycles to help pay for this project. It is not going to be cheap. It's probably, I'm never going to ever get my money back for what I'm about to put into this Jeep, which I bought for $5,000. And I'm literally about to spend probably well over, not probably, for sure, over that on a motor. Probably in the, I don't know. We'll see. I have a lot of different ways I could do this, but I have officially decided I'm going to do the 4BT swap. So I kind of wanted to do this for a long time. It was an inkling of a thought in my mind when I bought the Jeep, but I figured, whatever, it'll be fine with the 4.0. And then I drove it, and, the 4.0 isn't bad. It's actually a great motor. It's super reliable. It's pretty powerful for a 90s motor. It's a 90s Jeep motor. It's pretty powerful. It makes, I want to say 250 foot-pounds, about 250 horsepower. Maybe I'm being a little generous with that. So it doesn't feel slow in this lightweight little Jeep, but it's really boring. One of the big things that I miss about the Humvee is it had so much character. Objectively for the street, the Humvee was far less comfortable, noisier. When it rained, you got leaked on. It had a lot of downsides. It was harder to work on by a huge margin. Not that, you can get a new Mercedes and it's 10 times harder to work on than a Humvee, right? But I digress. It was much harder to work on than this Jeep. Overwhelmingly too wide on a lot of trails. Like, you can take these on side-by-side trails. Humvee, it was very scary to do that. Not just because the width of the wheel to wheel, but because the body width. You had a very flimsy aluminum body hanging out there to get hit on every tree, and you can't really repair it very easily. So I'm going off on a tangent. This Jeep is way more practical, makes way more sense in almost every way, shape, and form. It can do over 75 miles an hour very comfortably, where the Humvee was basically screaming for mercy at that with the 6.5 diesel, Detroit diesel that it had. So it was great, but it doesn't have that character. And I really, really love a diesel. I kind of grew up with diesel trucks, or a diesel truck. My dad bought a '03 dually, the Duramax. I'm sure there's many, many people on here that know much more about 4BTs and Duramaxes and every little thing. But what I found is, even though I know very little about stuff, I just do it and I learn as I go and become an expert on the thing by the time I'm done. Kind of like, I bought the Humvee. I knew very little about Humvees. I did basically a moderate to low amount of research before I bought one off GovPlanet. There were a million people on forums and stuff telling me, don't do it, or you don't know enough, blah, blah, blah. And then I just bought it. And yes, I made a few mistakes. I wasted some money because I could have researched stuff better. But now, I'm not a Humvee expert. I don't live to know stuff about Humvees, but I did all the work on that Humvee myself. Basically took it all the way apart and put it back together to paint it. You can watch my videos. I could get another Humvee now and be perfectly comfortable doing anything I need to do on it, whereas I went into it as a newbie. So my point is, that is what I'm doing with this swap. Keep your negative opinions to yourself. Most of the people, from my experience, most of the people who've actually done the work are pretty positive, helpful people. And the people who have spent half a lifetime researching the work but haven't actually done it are usually the people that are really annoying and insufferable. And they probably never actually will do it because they don't have the time or the means or the motivation or the money. Officially, I'm going to be getting a 4BT. I would like your guys' help in, just anything. Any of you who are familiar with these engines, I know the very basic facts. I know the difference between the rotary and the P-pumps. I know about how much horsepower they make, the weight, all that kind of stuff. But if there's anything you think I should know that would be helpful, please comment below. I'm swapping this, obviously, into the YJ. I'm not going to bother fabricating my own mounts because I live in a condominium. I'm not going to be welding down here. I don't want to be doing anything too crazy. I'm going to have to grind off these mounts, so that'll be fun. But I'm really just going to try and buy as much bolt-in type stuff as possible. Regarding buying the motor, that is the only part I'm a little unsure about. There's so many options out there, and I've been toying around with the idea of buying a used motor and rebuilding it. I've kind of done some motor work before with motorcycle engines. I think I'm confident I can figure out whatever it is, except for maybe like rebuilding an injection pump or something. That might be a little bit above my pay grade. But I'm not worried about being able to do it. I'll have to buy, tools and certain equipment and stuff like that, I'm sure. But I really do. I'm toying around with that idea because that way I can kind of put this back together. It needs a transmission right now for those of you who don't know. And I'm doing other stuff like flat fenders and a lift kit, all that. So I can kind of put this back together. It's got a perfectly good 4.0 in it. I can go wheel. And while I'm enjoying this, I can also be working on rebuilding the 4BT kind of in the background and getting that ready and probably save a little bit of money. But on the other hand, I've been looking at used 4BTs, and for what I would have to do, not even counting my time, just, buying the used motor, rebuilding it, buying the new parts, buying the rebuild kit. You probably got to either rebuild the injection pump yourself or send it somewhere. Maybe not with the P pumps. I've heard they're really, really good, but you guys can let me know in the comments what you think about that. Just everything. It doesn't seem like I'm saving a ton of money buying used and rebuilding as opposed to just buying a new motor. And I'm not saying it's only going to be like a $10 difference. I'm talking maybe $1,000, a couple grand. And to me, buying a perfectly good, already redone motor or, basically brand new motor, rebuilt by professionals who do thousands of them, versus me spending $2,000 less and doing it myself. I gotta be honest, I'm really weighing my options. I don't have a ton of money, but it's not a huge limiting factor. I kind of would honestly rather just buy the perfectly good motor, ready to go, not have any worries about it. And it's a Cummins. It'll probably last like literally 300, 400,000 miles. So at that point, I might be pulling it out of this Jeep and putting it into another vehicle because this thing is rusted out and is completely worn out, but the motor's still running. So to me, it seems like a very long-term investment. I don't know. It's hard to justify maybe trying to do this the cheap way when you can just do it the easy way and the, probably the more sound, reliable way. In my mind, I would much rather have something like this than a new vehicle. And, that's just me. I like things that have a lot of character, that, make cool sounds, that are easy to work on, that are simple, mechanical. So anyway, this is going to be a fun one to edit because when I get up in front of the camera and just start rambling like this, it can go on for hours, literally. I always have a lot to say. So, I guess the main takeaway is help me out, guys. Let me know, valuable information that you've gleaned from doing this type of stuff. if you're an expert on Cummins engines, and I mean an expert, not some guy who Googles a lot of stuff, let me know, anything you think I should know before doing this. Also, hope you're liking the Jeep content. It's not nearly as popular as the Humvee, which I predicted. Jeeps are kind of a dime a dozen. But I am really enjoying it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you can subscribe. Hope you can give me a like. It helps with the algorithm, helps me get seen. Obviously, I'm a small YouTuber. And, yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.